the bush. What do we do, boys?
So my cousin and I both have adventure bikes now. I just got mine. He has had his for over a year now. But we never been to real off-road situations so far. So we decided to take a class before we started risking our bikes on the dirt. And we chose Smart Adventures for that. Before I start talking about the class, I just want to mention the equipment they give you is great, in great condition, great quality. The bikes are running perfectly. They're like the latest bikes you can get. And the instructors.
So, ma'am, congratulations on your first day on the job. I hope you had a really good time. I like to instill everybody's confidence.
They're just great. They're having as much fun teaching you as you are learning, if not more.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Because on the dual sport class you need to have a motorcycle license, they expect you to know how to ride a bike proper, right? Like not in the dirt, but to know the fundamentals of riding a bike. So we start the class by going with a ride along just on the gravel pit. Like they have some obstacles set up there, and they start with pretty like just going around like pretty easy stuff. Just to see how you behave on the bike, and at all times there is two instructors. One is leading the way, the other one is behind the group. The group on the day I was taking the class was just 3 people. I think they usually go up to 6 if I'm not mistaken. So the instructor in front of you keeps looking back. They pay attention, but their main job is to lead by example, right? Like to show you where to go and for you to copy them on the behavior, on what they're doing. The one behind you, it's making sure the group is together and it's taking a better look on what everyone is doing so they can give you notes afterwards, and they take turns. As you can tell on this very beginning, difficulty is increasing little by little. At first we just go around everything and then we start going through some of the obstacles. I believe most of those obstacles are meant for the kids classes. They're a little bit on the easy side, but they offer a big challenge for if you never rode a dirt bike, right? Like for me, it was great to spend some time on this area because I didn't have much confidence on my skills, so I didn't know how I was gonna handle, and being exposed to an easy terrain like this just showed me that the bike can handle everything. There's like I didn't slip a single time, even when everything was pretty wet. We got a chance to go over a little bit of water too, and so you feel in a controlled situation how the bike behaves on the water. And it just like little by little you're getting more confidence. And so far we had no instructions, just like the only instruction they gave us was follow me, but that was on purpose.
Not too bad, yay! Everyone's still here.
1, 2, 3. Don't worry, we'll find you in the spring.
So how did that feel? So on the bike, think about how you were sitting, and let's make some adjustments. So,
Is this a good riding position?
no, you want to be forward so that you're right over the peg. And the front part of your foot should be on the peg. Not too much of your toe should be hanging over. Different boot sizes, you got to figure out what's best for you. But essentially, when you stand on your tippy toes, the ball of your foot somewhere forwards or backwards of there should be on the peg, because we will be standing up. So it's easier to stand up if you have firm support.
So that's their style of teaching. They show you what to do without much explanation. They watch how you do it in a controlled environment, and then they make corrections to it after the fact, and then they expose you to a harder scenario where the same technique is going to be applied. And here they are bringing us to the trails for the first time. It's the Simcoe County trails. It rained a lot the night before, so it gave us a lot of wet environments and mud and good things to practice on. So they explain us how to behave on the trails. They already gave us some lessons, and now they're watching to see how we behave, and they're gonna make more corrections after riding for a good like 10-15 minutes.
So how did that feel?
Great.
A little
different though.
bumpy, like not what you're used to, right?
So after a quick lesson there, we came back to the pit and we start training other techniques. Right now we're just training the slides, emergency braking, just for you to know how it feels. In case you're in the trails and you need to slam the brakes, you don't get desperate because you lost traction, you actually know how to behave, right? After learning a bunch of techniques, they took us to this hill. It looks much bigger when you're there, and also when you're scared. Of course, they explain us what to do, how to behave, and what to expect when doing it. But things really change when you actually get to do it.
That happened because he didn't have his revs high enough. He was bogging the motor down. So he could have brought his clutch in, got the RPMs up, and then feathered it out.
Learn only from your mistakes, you learn from your buddy's mistakes too. Oh, kind of.
He didn't use his clutch.
Okay. So leave the revs up a little bit,
Yeah, and feather
okay.
the clutch.
Yeah.
And it's there if you need it. Go ahead.
All right.
There we go.
Sweet.
Yeah. There you go. Woo. Okay. So this hill is
Good.
we're doing good. This is Clinton. Hi guys.
Hey, Clinton.
Going up, it's really important that you don't have to give more gas on your way up,
Okay.
because the back wheel will sometimes lose traction.
That's
Okay.
what happened last, eh?
Yeah. So I like to hit the hill going fast, because I can always slow down. When you're going up a hill, slowing down is not a problem.
Going up and down the hills was definitely one of my favorite parts of this whole thing. Not just because it's fun and exciting, but because it's something that I would be afraid of doing by myself. I would probably not even try.
Good job.
Thanks.
So, if you want, go around and go back up.
All right. So having somebody who is experienced in teaching people, looking at your riding skills and saying do this, gives you already the confidence to be able to succeed on this kind of thing, right? As if I was by myself, I would look at this hill and just think, no way.
Yeah, the giving gas and control with the clutch. Now I got it, I think. Yeah.
Like before, we learned a few techniques, and then we went on the trails trying to find places where you can use those techniques and actually learn them for real, right? And this whole thing is pretty amazing. And the idea of learning everything on a 250cc bike in the morning and transitioning to a bigger bike on the afternoon, I think it's genius as well. Like if you're like me and you're never taking a bike off roads, and it's gonna remove the fear with this small bike, and then when you get something heavier and harder, you actually know what to expect. Another great thing is they exposed us to a variety of different terrains. We start off with something a little bit more flat, close to paves. We did some gravel. There is like a little bit of water crossing, a little bit of sand, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of mud, single track, double track, technical terrain like this. We actually went through some pretty hard stuff towards the end, but my battery died and I didn't realize in time for me to replace it. This is just another quick example of something I would never try to do on my own if I never did before with a structure in front of me, right? Then they let you ride the big boys. You can choose to use your own adventure bike on this stage, or you can use one of their BMW GS bikes. I chose to use their bike for a few different reasons. One, I actually like the idea of riding a different bike for a day, something similar to mine but not quite. And something that's actually more expensive than what I got, and in order for me to compare and to see if I actually made a good decision or not, right? To use their BMW bikes, you pay about $90 extra. It's not a lot of money, it's a little bit more, but I still didn't have the crash bars on my bike and I didn't want to risk it. When you get the GS, you start on pavement. First of all, you do a quick ride on pavement to go for lunch. So stop at a restaurant, have lunch, and then you hit like some backcountry roads close to highway speed, and you get a chance to ride in all different conditions, right?
Comfy on the bike?
Yeah.
These bikes have heated hand grips if you're getting cold.
I'm using it already.
So will I. That's what they got on.
Okay, come so you can listen. So what I was thinking we would do is we're going to go along. We're going to make sure we're in Enduro Pro. Get going first, maybe slow into second. Clutch in, hammer the back brake. Start feeling what it's like on the big bike. Eyes where you want to go. Clinton likes to do a part of the course where if you've got your back brake locked, just turn the wheel a bit. You can feel the ass end start to slide out. As long as you're looking where you want to go, the bike has to follow. We may see tree down, but if we're out in the bush, we have to figure our way around it. That's all there is to it.
I forgot to mention this white 1250 GS who is riding is my cousin Manuel. I'm riding the 850 GS just because it's the closest one in size to the bike that I actually have. And now we're back to my perspective with the 850 GS. Those bikes are outfitted with pretty intense off-road tires. And taking them on the trail was pretty fun. There's a lot of things I prefer on my bike over this bike. Of course, there's riding modes and everything, but the riding position when standing on the GS was a little bit uncomfortable for me. The foot pegs were set too low, But that would be a video on its own, right? Like a comparison between the two bikes. It's not what we're here for. So back to the class. Back to Manuel's perspective.
Wheel up. Yep. And then just straight up. Okay? Yep.
Just be careful, but
This is part of what we can't teach you. Like
yeah.
in this situation, when we're stopped, we can talk about what we think happened or what we could have done different. Experience will teach you.
We knew this was gonna happen at some point, somebody dropping their bike. Wasn't me or my cousin, but we knew the risk was there, right? At least the bike was okay. Oh shit, what was it?
Okay. Okay. Well, if that's the case,
I'm going to pay for insurance.
consider it persuaded back.
Yeah, it's good.
Looks like it's working.
Hey, if we're out in the bush, what do we do, boys? This is it. This is what it's about.
Okay, so with the BMWs we kept on the trails, we did some cool stuff, but we did much harder things with the little bikes, right?
I don't know. But yeah, there we go. Good job.
Desliga, shut it off.
I don't like puddles in the corners.
Like ride up
Yep.
on the other side of the pole.
Good kickstand is in.
Yeah, I saw him going down, try to brake. Front brake?
That caused you to go down.
No, it was just like stopping in the puddle is not the best place to stop. Right? And now I'm glad I'm not using my bike.
Oh yeah. But you could almost stop before a puddle.
Yeah.
And then very slowly speed up as you go through it.
Yeah.
But never anything sudden. So if you have stiff arms, you're gonna react probably the wrong way.
Yeah, it happened. I also dropped my bike. The biggest lesson I learned this day wasn't any of the techniques, was actually this dropping the bike. First, nothing broke, bike was fine, so it takes a little bit of the fear away. And second, and most important, I only dropped my bike because I was too close to the person next to me. And especially going over obstacles that are a little bit harder and your friend's not confident on taking it, you should always let them go, wait, cut speed off, or even stop before, right? And then you pick up speed and you go after they have fully crossed. I thought he was gonna keep his speed. I was wrong. He dropped the bike. I had no choice. Well, I had no choice with my skill level other than dropping the bike too, just laying the bike down so I didn't run him over. So I think this class was made for anybody that's in the same situation that I was. You want to start doing adventure biking, you have adventure bike, but you never been off road, and you just need some skills, right? Like this will give you the confidence to keep improving on your own and to actually go to places and start exploring more. I highly recommend. I loved the class. I have zero things to complain about. It was one of the best investments I made when it comes to motorcycling. It was better than any equipment I ever bought. So if you have the chance and the cash to do it, I highly recommend. And don't think I'm showing all the lessons they gave us. Like there was a lot of things that they mentioned, they corrected, they taught us, but I didn't want to include all the lessons. And a lot of it was specific to the way we were doing, right? It's a very one-on-one class. Like we had almost one instructor per person. We had three attendees and 2 instructors. So even little things like this, like when Manuel got stuck in some loose gravel there, he couldn't get out of the place, and then he got a quick lesson on how to do it.
Good. Now, if you want to go, slip that clutch, but keep moving.
Okay.
Slip it hard.
This part was pretty fun. We did this on both bikes, the 250 and on the GS, and it's just like very slow, controlled maneuver on some grass and mud, going around those pine trees, and just trying to do the figure eights around the trees as slow as possible, as controlled as possible. Just so you learn how to slip the clutch better and how to drag the rear brake a little bit when you're going too slow. Here I just failed. I'm the one in front. Manuel is recording right now. I had a much easier time on this exercise with the 250 than with the GS, mostly because of the position of your foot.
Love this bike.
What's up?
Love this bike.
Yes.
Nice one.